In this video, we're going to see how to interact with Weevely and some of the basic commands. So I'm going to connect to the shell that we already uploaded in the previous video. So all I'm going to do is Weevely, the URL where the shell is located, followed by the password. Gonna hit enter and I'm in. So the first thing we're going to do is run the help command. So if you just type in help, you'll see all the commands that you can run using Weevely. So these are all the functions that you can do. So you can see the name of the function, followed by the description of what that function does. So the first thing that we're going to have a look on is system info, which basically displays information about the current server that we have access to. So for any of these commands, all you have to do is type it and it'll run. Now some of them require options and we'll see how we do that. So the first thing you want to do before you even run the command is you just type the command. So in our case, it's system info. And then type -h to see the options and the required. Some of them have required commands and some of them have only optional arguments that you can give. So for this one, you can specify what kind of information you want by putting -info. But generally, you can just run system info and it will show you information about the current operating system. So I'm just going to run it normally. So I'm just going to type system info. And as you can see, it collects information about the current server. So you can see the IP. You can see where your shell is located. You can see the folder where the shell is located. You can see information about the operating system. So you can see it's a Linux operating system. You can see the kernel version. And as I said before, this is useful when you're trying to find local buffer overflow exploits so that you can escalate your privileges. You can see where the config is. And again, we're going to talk about that in the future. We can see the PHP version, again, very useful when you're trying to bypass functions, when you're trying to exploit vulnerabilities. And again, we can see that it's a Linux operating system and our current user is www.data, so it's the result of the who am I command. And you can also see the document root, which basically refers to the directory which Apache uses as its base. So you can see that, or we know already, that in our Metasploitable, all the websites are stored in var www, and then after that, if you put dvwa, you'll be in dvwa. If you put Matilde, you'll be in Matilde. So again, this is very important information if you're trying to navigate from one website to another. Speaking of navigating from one website to another, we've seen before how we can do cat etc password, and that'll give us the locations, that'll give us the users on the current operating system and their locations where the document root is. And I told you that you can use these locations to navigate within the server and go from one website to another. Matilde also have a function that will automatically display this information for you without doing cat etc password. And the function is called, if you just do the help, the function is called audit etc password. So again, all you have to do is just type in audit etc password. And before I run this, again, I'm going to do the -h to see the help. And here you see why is this useful. Now you might think that why would I even need this function? All I have to do is just do cat etc password and I'll see the results. Why would I need this function? Why would I use it? And what's handy in here is the vector argument. So what this argument allows you to do is it specifies the method of reading that file. Because depending on how you gained your shell access, depending on the configuration on the server, on the web applications, on the current user, and a lot of variables, you might not be able to read what's inside that file. So you might do cat etc password and you'll get nothing, or you'll get permission denied. So what's useful with this command is you can specify a number of methods to read that file. And the methods are listed in here in the vector argument. And if you can't get it with one method, then just try the next one. So I'm going to show you how to do this now. And this is very useful because you have this vector argument with a lot of the functions in Weevely. And it's really handy because, as I said, depending on the permissions, some of the functions might not work. And you can just use a different vector and it'll work. So for our example, we can just do audit etc password, and this will actually work. But what I want to do is I want to show you how to use the vector in case that didn't work for you. So all you have to do is just put in the vector argument followed by the vector that you want to use. So an example would be file right here. So all we have to do is just type in file. And we can see that this particular vector didn't work. So we can just try a different vector, and we're gonna go with fread. Again, this one didn't work, so we try another one. And let's go with the file get contents. Again, no log. Let's go and try POSIX get PWUID. And here we go. So like I said, in your example or in your case, try all the vectors. Some of them will work, some of them might not work, depending on the configuration. So it's really handy option to use if the normal cat etc password didn't work.